Hello everyone, this is Azraelis and we are back again, and today we're going to be going ahead and going over the add-ons that I use. The first one I want to show you is called Spell Activation Overlay. This is for mages. It also has setups for lots of different classes that have procs and stuff like that that you need to pay attention to. And it just simplifies the whole entire deal. I'm not one of those people who uses weak auras. So I come over here, I start attacking the dummy, and what you're going to see is the moment that Arcane Missiles procs, boom, I have a sound that goes on in the audio, and I have that visual cue that tells me that my Arcane Missiles are ready. Easy, straightforward. There it is. There's not much else to talk about with that. Spell activation overlay, you can see it applies to all these different mage things. It also works on multiple other classes. It works on my druid, it works on my shaman. You know, if you've got procs, this thing is great for that, as you can see. And it's got different little things. You can do a lot of customization with it. Really neat. So next up is Z Pearl and Bartender. Okay, so Z Pearl is what you're seeing making this here. Z Pearl is my favorite unit frame setup. And it's not for exactly the same reason as a lot of people use this. The reason that I love this setup is because of this right here. Essentially, I start a new character, I start an alt or whatever. I can just come in here and load White Mane Azraelis, and it will set up all of my unit frames to the exact same way that Azraelis is. And that's awesome. And as you can see, the options that you have available in these unit frames are massive. You can set up all sorts of crazy stuff. You know, I target this guy, see how I have these set up so that they're on either side of my character. Boom, boom. I can see all of the buffs and debuffs that the person has, all that kind of stuff. Then when you come to Bartender, it does the same thing. I can come in here once I saved my profile, which is what's setting up my bars to look this way, and the bars over here. What it's doing is it's going ahead and it allows me to go ahead and just come in and click existing profiles, Azraelis, and boom. It will set up my bars for the exact same way, the way I like it. Like, let's go log into my druid that I'm leveling. And what you'll see is, boom, we're right back again. Tiny little bits of differences. You know, I have some extra stuff up here, but I've still got a thing down here. You know, it's because once you have it all set up, the same thing applies for this guy. He's got procs. Let's go kill something with a spell activation overlay. Oh, I don't need to. I can just show you this way. Add-ons, spell activation overlay, and you can see all of the stuff that it will show me. When I get a Omen of Clarity, it'll do that. It'll make that green stuff that you can see behind it. When I get an Eclipse, it does that. When I get Solar, it does that. Pretty straightforward. You know, it just does all of this stuff for you. It goes ahead and gives you visual cues. Let's go back over to my mage. Oops. No. I need this guy to get more stuff because I'm getting tired. I'm actually getting kind of burnt out. I'm waiting for heroic pluses. That's all I'm really doing nowadays in WoW. I need one thing on my mage, and that's the staff from Heroic Oculus. So that's really all I care about. I just keep coming in doing daily dungeons and trying to get into a Heroic Oculus to go try to get that staff. And that's it. So, Bartender, same exact deal. Like I said, you can do profiles and load your thing. But Bartender is a very good add-on. The wombo combo of Z Pearl and Bartender is my absolute favorite. Like, because I don't ever use the bag bar. Like, let's click on this. I don't use the bag bar. I don't use the micro menu. You know, the only time I would ever use the micro menu is if I was like kicked back, you know, like chilling, and I just had one hand on my mouse. That's the only time I would ever use the micro menu or the bag bar. So where do I put them? Way up here out in the corner where they're out of my way. All of the important things are right here, localized near the center of the screen where I want them. And that's just it. When you can go ahead and you can fully customize everything about your experience, that's where it's at. I use a very specific method when I play these games that use tab targeting. I do the exact same thing in Star Trek Online. You name it. If it's an MMO and it was free to play at one point, and it has tab targeting, I have played it pretty much. I mean, everything from Perfect World to, you name it. Like, I've played almost all of them. So what I do is I do a hybrid of keybinds and mouse. And the way I do that is because I naturally return my mouse to the center of the screen, just as a player. This comes from old school MMOs that you needed to go ahead and click on yourself to self-cast. In this game, you don't have to. You just got to click on your toolbar. You can't really click on yourself in this game. But there are a lot out there where you had to click on yourself to self-cast. So I've always had that habit. So what that allows me to do is put things in close range, close proximity to the center of the screen. So I click on somebody, I start attacking them, whatever. I'm always going to be moving around using the hold right mouse button function and bringing them towards the center of my screen. That's what I do. I'm not usually engaging pointed this direction, or things like that. I'm always bringing whatever I'm after towards the center of my screen. And the reason I do that is because it allows me to have quick access. I'll show you. I'm going to regret moving my webcam, but here I am hovering over myself. Oops, there we go. Here I am hovering over myself, and I go down to evocation. You see how little I have to move to do these type of things? It's the same deal with when I go for my cooldowns. I'm not even moving my hand. All I'm doing is moving my pinky and my thumb. I'm just moving it around, and I'm doing it just like that. So that's why I do what I do in these games. It's a hybrid of using keybinds and mouse movements. The things that I don't necessarily need rapid are usually hooked onto the mouse. So like I go down and my evocation's right here. My invisibility, my ice block, spell steal, remove curse, my potions, it's all right here. It's just absolutely quick access. But it doesn't necessarily need to be keybinded. That's the whole point. The same thing with cooldowns. You don't need your cooldowns keybinded because you're only going to use those at the start of a fight with a boss. And then you're going to use them again when they come off a cooldown. You don't need them hotkeyed onto a keybinding. The type of things that I have hotkeyed to a keybinding are right here. I use 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously, but I also use Q, E, F, and G, which are directly next to my movement keys. So when I need to blink, it's right there. When I need a Frost Nova, it's right there. When I need to drop my AoEs, they're right here. But beyond that, those of you hawk-eyed viewers will know that I also use an MMO mouse. So when it comes time to, if you look at the bottom of the screen, right here, I have Counterspell, Will of the Forsaken, and Polymorph. Why do I have all of these here? Because my thumb rests on G15, G16, and G17. These three. Which means that to counterspell, all I'm going to do is hit G15. That's right under my thumb. If I need to Will of the Forsaken to break out of a CC, it's still under my thumb. If I need to polymorph something, same deal, as you can see. So, this mouse is a Logitech. M100. I don't remember what it's called, G something or other. But it's a very typical MMO mouse, the Logitech's MMO mouse. Uh, so I do use hotkeys, but I use hybrid. I use a hybrid of both mouse and keyboard bindings. So yeah, that's why Z Pearl plus Bartender are the absolute greatest things for me in this game, because I need to be able to customize absolutely everything on my screen. Same exact thing goes for Star Trek Online. It's just Star Trek Online, their stuff is built in. They don't use add-ons because you can customize your entire thing already inside of the game. So they don't have to have add-ons. I haven't played Star Trek Online in a long time, but I have like I don't know, geez, probably like 8, maybe 9 or 10 max level characters in that. I have played, I mean, you name it. If it's a tab target or any kind of MMO, I've played it, guaranteed. The only exceptions are things like I didn't play New World because I kind of knew it was going to fail. I didn't play Elden Ring because, it's just, I'm not a big fan of the Dark Souls series. Really cool games. They're amazing. They're just not my cup of tea. That's just one of those things. So, anywho, that's it. Long story short, quick summary. Auctionator, Bartender 4, Leatrix Maps, Questy, Recount, Sexy Map, Simple Item Level, Spell Activation Overlay, Threat Classic, Vendor Price, Z Pearl Unit Frames, and Bagnon. Oh, and character stats for Wrath of the Lich King. But am I on desktop? Okay, we will go ahead and we will show you. The way I deal with all of my add-ons is right here, CurseForge. I don't want to be fiddling around with the folders. I don't want to be fiddling around with all of that stuff. I just want to play the damn game. So I use CurseForge. You log into CurseForge, you get your stuff together, and what's going to happen is it's going to open up, and it's already into my World of Warcraft stuff. Oh, look, my Auctionator and my Leatrix Maps needs to update. Boom. And it's done. Everything's updated. Everything that has an update is updated. And then I go over here, and I close that window, and I come down here, and I shut off Overwolf. And I shut off... Oh, it shut off the other thing already. Shut off CurseForge. Ready to go. Oh, I can actually tell you what the exact mouse I'm using. Hashtag not an ad. The G600. That's my mouse. There you go. That's the whole kit and caboodle, my friends. So, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Get yourself some good add-ons. And, yeah, peace out. I'll see you on the next one. If you want to help with the channel, you can hit up my donation links in the description below. Peace.